Dallas and Micah Parsons, he's never missed a game due to injury in his career, but that streak is in jeopardy. Except for the high ankle sprain Thursday, he was in a walking boot and using a scooter at the team facility yesterday. We know the Cowboys will be without DeMarcus Lawrence for 4 to 8 weeks with the Liz Frank injury. Parsons has not been ruled out yet, but here's how bad he wants to be there. I figured myself invincible for a while. When you are a real competitor, you only get 17 chances at this, and missing one of these opportunities to perform at the highest level bothers me. I feel like I want to play on Sunday. I want to play. If I can't play, I will. Steelers favored by 2.5. You removed DeMarcus Lawrence and Micah Parsons from a defense that kind of got run over by Baltimore, and the Saints did whatever they want. I can see Justin Fields having a lot of success.
Well, obviously,
Sunday night football.
Here's what we're seeing. We are seeing that Arthur Smith is smoothing out Justin Fields. Now, Justin's always going to he's bumpy. Chicago struggled to settle the plane. It was always turbulent. I do feel like in Pittsburgh, it's a smoother ride. Like, again, he had a terrible fumble, and everybody on the internet's going to crush him for it. But if you just look at the numbers, like it's like Caleb in Chicago now, he's getting more accurate every week. I'm watching Pittsburgh and Justin Fields, and I'm like, it does feel like he and the offensive coordinator have kind of devised a plan, and it kind of works for him.
You know, what I like most about Fields is they got in a 17-0 hole.
That's right.
They were getting crushed.
Could have been
I
over.
figured blowout city. Let me bet the Colts to win by 10 or whatever, which was a stupid bet. And Justin Fields fought back, and they actually had a chance late in the fourth. I was impressed by Fields. I don't think there's even discussion about Russell Wilson. Fields has been very good. Pickens, by the way, how good is he looking on the outside? If they could just figure out the running back room. I don't know if Jalen Warren's back yet. Offensive line injuries are worth watching. Yeah. But I like Pittsburgh here, Colin. Under a field goal at home? No?
Well, and also Sunday night game.
Oh, it's gonna be a scene in Pittsburgh.
Well, it was a scene in Detroit. It was a scene in New York. It was a scene in Buffalo. It was a scene in Baltimore. You get these standalone games with good teams. Pittsburgh's looks good. I think the old Arthur Smith thing is being undervalued. This is an organization that struggled with OCs for years, and Tomlin's missed on it.
All right, well, they're kind of got off track talking about the Pittsburgh Steelers rather than Micah Parsons. If I can play, I will play. I don't think he should play, personally. Obviously, it's going to put the Cowboys in a difficult situation, and if he's not playing, then the Steelers definitely have the advantage versus the Cowboys, but this is why you paid Dak Prescott over $200 million, right? To overcome some of these things. Everybody says that Dak Prescott is a top quarterback in the NFL, right? Better than Josh Allen, better than Goff, Jalen Hurts, Purdy. We could just keep going on and on. It seems like a lot of Cowboys fans think that Dak is, just under Patrick Mahomes and maybe Lamar. And if that's true, then this is why you paid him all this money, right? You sit Micah out, because the problem is if Micah's not really fully 100% with his high ankle sprain, then there is just a insanely high level of it just being re-aggravated. And now you're just continuing to kick the can down the road. If he's on a scooter, if he's on a boot and a scooter, that means they are trying to shut this down 100%. They are trying to make him not put any weight on it at all, which is it could be just an aggressive way to try to shut down the inflammation. This is usually what you do when you put something in a boot and then you're scootering. But it also feels like, I would actually be really, really surprised if he plays. I would. If you're on a scooter as well, it's one thing to be on a walking boot and now you're walking around, but to be on a scooter as well, it just means that the degree of severity is just higher. And if it is that intense, but they just kind of really just, give some medication and tape him up good and send him out there, I don't think it really does anyone. The Cowboys a solid. I don't think it does Micah himself, right? I think it only hurts him because then they'll use his stats and his lack of performance against him individually. I think it'll also be bad for his spirits as well, right? This is the time for Micah to be a leader and not go out and play, and be a leader on the sideline and continue to talk to the defense the whole way through, right? We see that a lot with a lot of these leaders when they're not playing. Continue to be the voice. Continue to be the guy that can rally people. Continue, help, in this moment, be a coach. Help the younger guys see things that they're not seeing. Be that person, right? In a lot of ways, I see Micah as Draymond Green. And it's like, that's what Draymond Green has done a lot with a lot of the younger guys, minus, Jordan Poole. And you see it, and it matters. So I think this is the place for Micah to be able to do that. And then trust, well, we just paid a gajillion dollars to CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott. Yeah, your defense is going to be lacking, so go put up points. Go put up points. That's why you paid all this money. Go put up points. Yeah, you kept Mike McCarthy because you said he's a great offensive coach, so go put up points. Go do it. Say, yeah, our defense is not going to be great. We are going to have to hit the ground running. Let's go. That's the type of game that you're going to have to win. It's not going to be easy if all these guys are down defensively, but offensively they should be there though. You got Dak. You say he's a top quarterback. You got CeeDee Lamb, who's definitely a top wide receiver. You went out and got Ezekiel Elliott to establish the run game. So go out there and do it. I don't think rushing Micah Parsons to come back with a high ankle sprain, where, like I said, he's at the point where if he doesn't really just shut it down for, and again, I can't give a timeline, but I'll just say, more than a week, then he's just going to constantly be flirting with like 80%, 75%, 90%, back down to 75%. Like, he just can't get right. You shut it down now for like a week or two, he can hopefully maybe get right, again, depending on how severe it is. But the fact that he's on a scooter, like I said, it could be just a very aggressive way to try to shut down the information, to try to really expedite this healing process. Or it's just like, no, man, like this needs to be on a scooter because, one, it's actually so painful, and two, it's like, no, like that's the treatment. We don't want any weight bearing on it. You can't. So yeah, it'll be interesting if Micah plays. I'll be impressed to a degree as well if Micah plays, because I do appreciate someone, I appreciate the warrior mentality. But many athletes who got that warrior mentality often need to be protected from themselves as well. Famously, Andy Reid did that with Patrick Mahomes. And Patrick Mahomes was screaming at Andy Reid, "Get me back in the game." And Andy Reid was just like, "No, like you got to go back in the line." It was a playoff game. Like, you got to go back and get like an X-ray, or you got to get examined. Like, man, I'm putting you back in the game. I don't care who you are. And he just like looked at him like, "Okay, dude." Like that was honestly a pretty awesome moment, right? Mahomes like screaming, and Andy Reid, obviously just such a big guy, is just looking at Mahomes like you're like a 5-year-old child. Like, there's nothing you're going to say or do that's going to change anything right now. And it was smart. It was the right move. And like, that's what they need to do with Micah and the Cowboys. Yeah, I'm curious to see how this game will unfold. Which we'll talk about later, as the days go by. This will be an interesting game for the Cowboys, and Dak, and obviously in CD. If all these pieces are missing defensively, if they can put more weight on Dak, understanding that he's going to have to put up points, definitely try to like dominate the time of possession, minimize the possessions that the Steelers have since your defense is so lacking, and see if the Cowboys can still come away with a win, especially if the Pittsburgh Steelers offense is continuing to play, if they are able to take advantage of the lack of defense. So this will definitely be an interesting game. I think there would be a lot to learn from it, quite frankly. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think? Do you think Micah should play? And whether he plays or doesn't, do you think the Cowboys have a shot at winning this game, or will or won't win this game? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment. So whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I'd absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much, and see you next time.